Hello everybody, this is Dr. Sam. Pleasure to meet you one more time. This is one of a series of videos that will be on a variety of different subjects. Don't worry, they're not terribly long. Probably 10 to 15 minutes each. If it has to spill over that, we'll probably cut them up into 2 or 3 different parts. So again, one more time, hello. And just want to let you know that I have a little whiteboard program here. There it is. You should all be able to see the little smiley face and my little welcome. I try to start all of my videos with a nice happy little welcome. And I am going to talk today about using the T. The T goes by many different names. The T is the T-bar, part, percent, and total. It has been called a variety of different things. The golden T. Let's just call it the T, just for right now. And if you are struggling with math, whether it's real estate math or appraisal math, I feel your pain, believe me, and I know that there are easier ways to handle this. And I wish that most of us had been introduced to the T way back in the day, maybe back in grammar school, way back in the day, because the T is essentially most of the math that you have to use. It is fractions. It is percentages. It is profit and loss. Commissions, if you're into real estate brokerage. It is the capitalization approach, the income approach of appraisal. It is calculating ad valorem real estate tax bills. So there are a variety of uses for the T. And if you don't like using the T, you can always fall back on our good friend algebra. That's always there for you. If you like equal signs and nice long formulas, then I'm also your friend. I like that too. But sometimes the T is just so handy, so easy to use. So let's start with a little introduction. Here is the T, part, percent, and total. Let me write out part, percent, and total. If you go up and down, then you are dividing. If you go side to side, then you're multiplying. So far, so good. Nice and easy. Easy peasy. One way to say it is, a part is a percent of a total. The words is and of, very often if you see those words in word problems, it's somebody's way of trying to tip you off that maybe you should be dividing or maybe you should be multiplying. Not always, but they're clues. At least I've used them as clues. What should I be doing now? One of the biggest issues anyone has is I've got all these different numbers, all these different words. What do I do with all of them? Where do I put all of them? Because you know where you'd like to put them all, but you can't do that. So let me show you some tips, some tricks. We'll start with some really easy, fundamental problems, and you'll see how easy the T is to use. But before we go any further, other words that might give you a tip-off as to whether you're multiplying or dividing, if you see is or if you see the word per, very likely you have to divide. If you see of, for, or by, probably you're going to wind up multiplying. And the nice thing about using t's, you don't necessarily have to just use one. You can use a series of them. There is a process, kind of complicated sounding process, concatenation. My program does not have spell check, so you'll have to double check and see if I've misspelled concatenation. All it means is you have a series of operations. You're adding, subtracting, dividing, multiplying, one after another in a series. That's called concatenation. The T works splendidly when you're concatenating, when you have a series of steps in your process. So now, a nice, happy, easy problem. Let me rewrite the T because it's starting to get a little crowded. Part, percent, and total. There we go. So part, percent, and total. Again, you go up and down, you're dividing. You go side to side, you're multiplying. And don't worry if the percent and the total get reversed. You can put the percent on the right and the total on the left. Doesn't matter. You're multiplying, so it doesn't matter if one is on the left and the other one's on the right. However, having said that, you can't switch these. The part always has to be on the top. Percent and total must always be on the bottom. So here's a happy little formula for you. Dr. Sam owns 4 rental houses. The total he owns is 4. He sold 3. The part he sold is 3. What percentage did he sell? If you're going up and down, you're dividing. So it's 3 divided by 4. It's a fraction, isn't it? 3/4. 3 divided by 4 is going to give me the percentage. On my calculator, it's going to say 0.75. The answers might all be percentages. So to convert this into a percentage, you take the decimal 2 places to the right, and now I've got 75%. If that's the format of the answer. So easy peasy, no big problem, no muss, no fuss. If you prefer algebra, 3/4 equals 0.75, and that works all day and all night. But some people, a lot of people, don't feel as comfortable with algebra and equal signs as they do just with an expression like the T. And one more time, 3 is 75% of 4. Again, is and of. And the beauty part of the T, one of the many beauty parts of the T, is Dr. Sam owns a total, part, percent, total, of, I tell you what, let's turn it around on its head. Dr. Sam sold 3 of his rental houses. The part he sold was 3. That represented 75% of the total that he started with. Again, 3, you're going up and down, you're dividing. Divided by 0.75 gives us 4. The total that Dr. Sam started with, 4. So you can solve for any of these items if we just give you 2 of them. So if I had this, if I had this and that, Dr. Sam had 4 houses. He sold 75% of them. How many did he sell? The part he sold is 3. Because you're going side to side, you're multiplying 0.75 times 4. If you've got a T and we give you 2 of the items, you can always get the missing 3rd item. And at any time, if you have questions or problems, don't hesitate to reach out. There should be some contact information in the video somewhere, front, back, or in the middle someplace, or maybe on the side on the web page, where you can reach out and contact McKissick, and they ultimately can reach out and contact me. It's an open invitation. I'm more than happy to chat with people about using the T. Now, let's see. How about if we take a more or less real-life type of problem? How about an ad valorem real estate tax problem? Ad valorem is Latin. It must be good. It's Latin. And it means according to value. You're taxed according to the value of your property. Well, if the market value is $200,000, the assessment rate 80%. Oh, and by the way, I'm making up all of these numbers off the top of my head. And if the tax rate is, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, let's say $4 per 100. I totally just made that up as well. The question is, what is the ad valorem real estate tax bill for this tax year? Well, I have a little work to do. Let's say part percent and total, part percent and total, the total market value, I'll put that in blue, total market value 200,000. The assessment rate is 80%, or 0.80, whichever one you prefer using. Well, 80% of 200,000, the part that represents assessed value is 160,000. That's the first step in our solution. Now, this is irritating me. This $4 per 100, that's a tax rate, right? But it's not in a nice, happy, conventional format like I want to see. I want to see the actual tax rate. So the tax rate is 4 per 100. 4 per 100, it's another T. $4 for every $100 of assessed value. And that's 0.04. So the tax rate is really 0.04. So this is the first T we used. Here's the second T we've used. I'm going to combine these two now. The part that represented assessed value now has turned into the total assessed value. And the percentage now is the 4%, 0.04. That's the tax rate. 4% of $160,000 should be, I'm hoping, $6,400. The part paid as the ad valorem tax rate, $6,400. And if they try to pull a fast one on you on your test, if they tell you that the tax bill is $6,400 and the tax rate is 4 per 100, which you know is 4%, how much was the assessed value? Easy, no problem. 6,400 is 4% of 160,000. You just take 6,400 divided by 4%, and voila, you get 160,000. That's the assessed value. But if they want to know more, they want to know what the market value is. Again, not a problem. The part that represents assessed value, which we pulled down from here, divided by 80%, that's the assessment rate, that gets us right back to the beginning. 160,000 is 80% of 200,000. So like I said, if you have a T, you can concatenate. You can do many, many problems all in a row, one after another. And if you are along those lines, as long as you know where everything is supposed to go, and that's practice. That is actually just practice. So you have this solved even before you start it, pretty much. And it doesn't matter if you're going this direction or that direction. As long as you're using T's, everything becomes clear. So now, one quick extra little pointer: capitalization rates. So let's talk about capitalization just for 1 minute. There will be another video where we talk about income capitalization much more extensively. But a little teaser: using part, percent, and total, if the net income is 100,000 and the capitalization rate is 10%, what is the value? In this case, the total is the value. Part divided by the total, 100,000 divided by the cap rate, gives us $1 million. So the T helps us solve capitalization problems. So that's a little tickler, a little teaser for you to want to come back and listen to me chatting more about capitalization. Well, I think that's about it for this video. Thank you so very much. Again, my name is Dr. Sam, and I hope you tune in to the other videos, and don't hesitate to ask questions. Ask away. Take care, everybody. Talk to you soon.